جیمز اوت شد؟ عالیه!
تختگاز یکی از پرطرفدارترین برنامه‌های تلویزیونی جهانه و یکی از پربیننده‌ترین برنامه‌های تلویزیون فارسی بی‌بی‌سی.
میافتم پشتش، خودش نمیدونه. آره!
میلیون‌ها نفر در سراسر جهان جرمی کلارکسون مجری تختگاز رو میشناسند.
414.
اما برای بینندگان بی‌بی‌سی فارسی شخصیت او توسط مظفر شافعی هنرپیشه و دوبلر عرضه میشه.
هر کاری که میکنیم جیمز کجاست؟ هیچ وقت نیست. فیولا بروسه مجری اخبار. قصد ما اینه که رکورد برانسون رو در عبور از کانال بشکنیم. هی داشت تندتر و تندتر میرفت.
جرمی کلارکسون بودن چه به فارسی چه به انگلیسی چه احساسی داره؟ برای یافتن پاسخ به این سوال برای اولین بار این دو با هم روبرو میشن.
اینم از این.
Hello. What an honor to meet you. Me.
What an honor to meet me. You.
Exactly. How do you do? Jeremy, how are you?
Hi.
خب چه حسیه که همزاد خودتو میبینی؟
Well, I didn't even know that I had a person alter ego, but then I have. So you have to be me.
I have to be you. Fortunately, I guess.
Do you smoke 60 cigarettes a day as well?
Not 60, but 20.
20?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to get a few more, and then you can really get... Is it difficult?
No, it's not. Because you have a very five-dimensional character.
پنج بودی؟
Yes.
Five?
Yes, people usually are three-dimensional. Five, I think. It's fantastic for an actor to do your part because you do so many different things in the program, like voice, like commentary, being relaxed in interviews, driving a car. I simulate what you do.
So you're an actor?
Actually I'm an actor, yes.
Yeah.
Without enjoying the actual driving, but I pretend that I am driving and it works very well.
So
مظفر چند وقت کلاکسونی؟
I think it's about 5 years.
5 سال؟ کل کار چجوریه؟ منظورم اینه که خودت هم به ماشین علاقه داری یا فقط نقش
Not into cars as much. I love cars, but not as much as Jeremy is, of course, and I don't get the chance to drive these wonderful cars he does.
Well, that must be annoying, actually pretending to drive a Lamborghini while not actually driving a Lamborghini. I can see that would be quite true. So I think, has Richard Hammond got some little mouse then that is him?
Yes.
And then you found the world's most boring Iranian to be James May.
Yes, I guess so.
Hello.
No, he actually does it differently. His voice is totally different. His voice is a bit like this.
James May?
Yes, that they put for James May. Yeah.
What's very funny is Top Gear is shown in Russia.
Yeah.
And the man who does the Russian voiceover, the James May, sounds like the Terminator. I'm on the... He absolutely will not stop.
جرمی اصلا میدونستی که تختگاز اینقدر تو ایران طرفدار داره؟
I was actually, because I met a girl who worked at the British Embassy there about, must have been 5 years ago, and she said, you've got to go to Iran because you've no idea how popular your show is over there. Now, you know, I mean, Top Gear is popular in lots of places, but I'm told in Iran it's really especially popular.
یه نمونه الان برات میگم. مثلا پارسال تلویزیون BBC فارسی یه مصاحبه اختصاصی با خانم هیلاری کلینتون وزیر امور خارجه آمریکا کرد. بعد به جای برنامه تختگاز پخشش کردن، کلی ایمیل اعتراض اومد که این چه کاری بود کردین. عجیب نیست برات؟
Enormously, because obviously Hillary Clinton has got many things to say about Iran. And you'd have thought that the Iranians would have found this relatively interesting. More interesting anyway than some 3 fat old men falling over. But anyway, I'm delighted to hear that we're more interesting than Hillary Clinton.
مظفر فکر میکنی چرا تختگاز اینقدر تو ایران طرفدار داره؟
Well, could it be because you speak very good Persian?
No.
I think it's got all the, like every other place, like you said, over 200 territories. It's very popular. It's got all the elements of entertainment in it. You know, it's wonderful places, wonderful music. Iranians love cars, and so it's a very entertaining. But also
ایرانی ماشین بازن؟
There's a car culture.
مردونه است یا زنها هم دوست دارن؟
Well, I thought it was man thing. I thought Top Gear would be really popular with men, but it's not. It's very popular with women as well. But the fact, I think the dubbing of it in Persian is a novelty, really, because they get it in Farsi, and we have kept the atmosphere. Like, for example, when Jeremy speaks, it's like he speaks Farsi, because I do the voice exactly in character. I don't copy the voice. Although I'm an impersonator, and I've done that before with other programs, I've got the character. So it's spoken. I mean, it's just the lip sync is just like as you speak Farsi, and I keep the atmosphere and I keep the jokes as much as I can, which is very unusual.
همین سوال بعدیمه. جرمی، شوخی‌ها که می‌کنی بعضن چجوری بگم؟ مثلا نشونهای جنسی داره. اون نوع شوخی‌ها رو چجوری ترجمه می‌کنیم برای مخاطب خودت؟
Not very easy, because usually the Farsi speaking television or the Persian televisions, generally speaking, they are all very clean and non-controversial. I think that's one of the elements that has contributed to it being very popular, because and it's difficult. It's difficult. The humor, 90% we do it exactly. We translate it and it makes sense.
What is Farsi for gentleman sausage? That's just something I've thought of.
Gentleman sausage. Oh my God.
Because we refer to because obviously Top Gear in the UK goes out before what's called the watershed. So before 9 o'clock, it's accepted that children are watching. So obviously, if we're referring to the gentleman's parts, we have to think of ways of describing them that are children friendly. So gentleman sausage is something we use a lot.
به استعاره یعنی؟
Yes, but it's kind of play school. It's children friendly.
خب مظفر میتونی توضیح بدی همینی که جرمی گفت اگه بخوایم بگین چجوری میگین تو برنامه؟
With difficulty, but we do it somehow. Yes, we kind of do it. We manage to.
بذار یه مثال دیگه برات بذارم. یه بار یادم جرمی توی برنامه یه چیزی گفت درباره بیضه خوش شده فرعون. شاید ماشین یادم نیست همچین چیزی.
No, it was some mushrooms they were eating somewhere, and he said actually this mushroom looks like Pharaoh's dried testicles.
Yeah.
And
کمش که منظورت نبود.
Well, I wouldn't know.
So we had a great problem doing that, but we eventually did it. Yes, very similar.
چجوری؟
Well, I did it. I just said it. The way he says it, slightly probably clean version, but I did it.
میشه الان بگی به عنوان مثال؟
To say it in Farsi. این قارچ‌ها شبیه بیضه‌های خشک شده فرعون هاست. I just said it like that.
And that means
خب ترجمهش چیه؟
Literally means these mushrooms look like the dried testicles of the pharaohs.
I think that was the truffle. Actually, it was a truffle.
I don't know.
That's what it was. It was driving the truffle back from Italy. I remember now.
مظفر حالا یک کلیپ می‌خوایم از برنامه که توش به جای جرمی حرف زدی پخش کنیم اگه موافقی.
امشب ریچارد همون یه فنجون قهوه می‌خره، جیمز می رو برفریز می‌خوره، از بحث متنفر. تو این سفرمون بالاخره پیش میاد که همون اوضاع معده‌اش به هم میریزه و یه جایی وامیستیم. به اونم بهم التماس میکنه که از این استفاده. آره ولی بهترین چیزیه که تو هند میشه رو ماشین گذاشت. هر کی میاد اینجا اسهال. آره ولی و تو هم حالا ایگل اسپیتزر واقعا اونقدر خوبه؟ آخه نگاش کنین، فقط نگاش کنین. آره خب خیلی خوشگله که آدم نگاش کنه، ولی چطور ممکنه ارزشش 5 برابر یه ای تایپ اصلی معرکه باشه؟ میتونم بهت نشون بدم همون، میتونم نشون بدم، چون اگه پامو بذارم اینجا گوش کنین. باشه حالا بهتر شد. و با این خبر هیجان انگیز وقت برنامه‌مون هم تموم میشه. شب بخیر.
That is so funny. It's so funny to watch that.
جرمی میشه توضیح بدی داستان چی بود همین که پخش شد؟
I do. My memory works. Yeah, that's. I mean, bombshell. That's quite. You learn that obviously because that's and on that bombshell every week. But no, it is funny when you watch it and you think, oh my God, there are people all around the world watching this with different language. It's very strange, very peculiar feeling.
اون چی بود؟ حالا رو ماشین هند بودین ظاهرا. داستان چی بود؟
Well, it's. I did some research on India actually in the Daily Mail. which is a really dreadful British newspaper, and they said that everybody that goes to India gets diarrhea. So I thought, well, it would be a good idea to travel with your own lavatory on the back of the car. And this amazingly enraged the Daily Mail, who said that this was deeply racist. And I thought, well, I got the information from the Daily Mail, but there we are.
مردم محلی عصبانی نشدن؟
No. Oh, no, there was the Indian High Commission complained, but we said, what are you complaining about? And they said, we're not sure. And they weren't. They just thought they ought to complain because the Daily Mail had rung them up and said, do you want to complain? But then when they looked at it, everyone was very happy.
بعدش هم خب بحث خودتو همون بود توی برنامه. مظفر اینجا حسابی حسو گرفته بودی نه؟
Yes, I do get into character.
جرمی دستاشو تکون میداد و یه چیزایی راجع به ماشین میگفت. تو هم همین کارو میکنی وقتی میخوای دوبله کنی؟
I'm doing it, yes.
Do you do it standing up?
No, I do it sitting down.
Sitting
actually.
down.
But I do the actions, I get into it.
And do you have the other two voiceover people?
No, they do it differently. We do it separately.
You do it all separately?
All separately, yes.
Wow, that's difficult.
But I get into it. I hear it like couple of seconds. You're always ahead of me, and I get the way it's said. But by now I know the beginning, when you start a sentence, I know what rhythm it takes. So
well, normally there's a great big pause before the end.
Yes.
For example, this is the best car in the world.
Yes.
Now I have to do that because I smoke and I don't have enough breath to get the whole way through a sentence.
البته این به بینندگان توصیه نمیشه.
No. Unless you smoke, of course. So how does that work in Farsi? The best car in the world.
این بهترین ماشین دنیاست.
No, your gap's not big enough.
Not good enough.
Much bigger. It's the best car
بهترین
in the world.
ماشین جهان.
چجوری معلوم میشه که جدی یا شوخی میکنی؟ طنز توی صدا رو چجوری در میاری؟ چون جرمی طنز مخصوص خودشو داره. بعضی موقع متلک میندازه. هیچ پیش میاد که نتونی این طنز رو در بیاری؟
No, I somehow get into the character, really. I mean, this is the first time I meet Jeremy, but I'm an actor, method actor, if you like. And I have got into his character, and now it's like driving. You don't learn to drive every time. I go there, sit in the studio, let's go, Reverend, tonight. He goes, and I go, I'm sharp, which has become a very, very, very popular word, tonight.
Tonight, yeah.
Tonight.
The other words are
sharp.
soon. Richard turned up. Meanwhile, Richard was in trouble.
Yes.
It's soon, meanwhile, now, it's important. I was the first to arrive. That's another one you need.
من اولین کسی بودم که رو جا رسیدم.
So I listen to me only drunk.
Yes.
به جز جرمی کلارکسون کاراکتر معروف بریتانیایی دیگه هم بازی کردی؟
No, I did start in the radio BBC many years ago, and I did James Bond, Sean Connery, in Farsi.
Really?
Yes, and it became the most popular program.
Did you slur the ushers?
Yes, I said, Ishmael Bond, James Bond, Sean Connery.
That's really good.
But it became the most popular program in the Persian radio, and now this.
جرمی تو هم میتونی صدای مظفر رو تقلید کنی؟
I very much doubt it.
به نظرت صداش چجوریه؟
But it seems perfect. I mean, the intonation is the most important thing, and it's bang on from what I can see here.
اصلا تو رو تو ایران میشناسن؟ مخاطبای ایرانی درباره صدا چی میگن؟
As a person, no, because I don't come in front of camera. This is the first time I'm exposing myself. But there's been numerous emails for years. Who is this man behind Jeremy Clarkson's voice? You know, this voice behind him. And then when I recently was in Kurdistan. It was a group of young people, and the word went around. Oh, he's doing the Top Gear. Oh, this is Jeremy Clarkson. And they said, which one are you? I said, Jeremy Clarkson. And they just looked at me like, and I said, yes, M Sharp. And they all were like, this one. You know, it's just a word. You say it's like Beatles fans when you say
M Sharp is
M
tonight.
Sharp, tonight.
Tonight.
It has become the tonight. M Sharp.
نمیخوای یه برنامه تخت گازم تو ایران بسازی؟
I would love to take. We asked, begged. And the ambassador in London, and I hope I'm not talking out of turn, was very sympathetic. He had at the time a son who was 14 or 15 who loved Top Gear. Loved the idea that Top Gear, but you know, there is a rule in place that the BBC isn't allowed to go there, so we weren't allowed to go, which is sad. because we're not really very political. So I think we'd have a great. I'd love to do that.
خیلی میگن سیاسی که نیستین هیچ اصلا سیاست هم نداریم.
Yeah, exactly the opposite of political. Yeah.
But just we mentioned
درباره نظر مردم گفتیم، حالا میخوام یه نمونه دیگه هم بگم از محبوبیت تخت گاز بین ایرانی‌ها یا لااقل بین مخاطبای BBC فارسی. راجع به تخت گاز آمریکایی که میگیم.
Yeah.
فکر میکنم 3 تا مجری داره. یه ایمیل از مخاطبای BBC فارسی میخونم یا حالا مثلا 2 تا. مال زمانی که به جای تخت گاز بریتانیا تخت گاز آمریکا پخش میشد. میگه که من همیشه BBC فارسی را نگاه میکنم. میخواستم بگویم دلیل موفقیت تخت گاز اصلی مجری هاشون هستن. جرمی کلارکسون، ریچارد هموند و جیمز می. نمیدونم چرا یکو تخت گاز آمریکا را پخش کردند. مجری هاش کاملا بی تجربه و خیلی جوونن. سن تو ظاهرا مشکلی نداره. مهمتر این که آنها بامزه هستن و کسل کننده نیستن. امیدوارم به زودی تخت گاز اصلی را پخش کنید. بعدم از تو پرسیده جرمی، نظرتون در مورد تخت گاز آمریکا چیست؟ اگر من به جای شما بودم و میدیدم 3 نفر ادای ما را در میآورن و برنامه را خراب میکنن، میرفتم سراغشان، شاید یک کتکی هم میزدم بهشون.
No, to be honest, I mean, the problem is, of course, James, Richard and I, very quietly in the UK, started a small motoring show, and we were allowed to evolve as characters and as friends when nobody was watching. That was the important thing, really. Well, only the UK was watching it, and then once nobody was watching until we were already fully formed characters, and you can't engineer chemistry between people. You can't suddenly say, right, here are 3 people who plainly have never met before, and they've all got separate characters, and they all get it. It's because you think, oh, this isn't a feature film, it's a TV show. And that's where it's very difficult for new countries to, and I think Top Gear America is, I mean, they don't have the budgets that we have in the UK, and they haven't had the time to evolve, but, you know, they do a good job.
مجبوری اینو بگی دیگه.
Well, he probably has, but the reaction has been like that. I mean, you probably don't know that there are Facebook saying...
واکنشی بوده، ببخشید. منظورم واکنش منفی.
With the US one, that they have Facebook saying we do not want US Top Gear.
Well, they get both.
You know, they get both, but the problem is that Top Gear, what happened in the Persian TV, when we started, it went out with a bang. And what they decided to go back, we started from series 10 or 11, because the TV, it was launched in 2008. Then they said, no, we have to go back. We went back all the way to series 6. Before that, they said it was not probably, I don't know, relevant or whatever. I don't know, they decided. So they've been spoiled by having a Top Gear every week almost. And now it's run out because you don't make that many.
Yeah,
so they keep saying, we want British, we want the British Top Gear. So they decided to broadcast the US Top Gear, thinking people like cars, but obviously they like Jeremy and the other 2 guys. And
this is the interesting juxtaposition.
به نظرم این بحث خیلی جالبه. تخت گاز جذابیتش چیه؟ ماشین یا طنز؟ البته هر دو تا رو داره، هم طنز هم شخصیت هم ماشین، ولی ممکنه خوشت بیاد یا نیاد، ولی بی تفاوت که نمیتونی باشی. فکر کنم حدود 19 میلیون هوادار داره توی فیسبوک. مظفر، برگردیم به ماشین. ما از مخاطبای BBC فارسی خواستیم اگه سوالی از جرمی دارن بفرستن و به طرز عجیبی همه میخواستن نظر جرمی رو بدونن در مورد پیکن یا پیکان یا پیکان. پیکان ماشین ایرانی ظاهرا. یه عکس هم ازش اینجا داریم، ببینیم.
There it is.
با تمام جلال و شکوه.
In all its terribleness. That's the Hillman Hunter. A fairly nondescript British car, which from memory we stopped making it here and then shipped the tools out to Iran.
And it was assembled in Iran.
Exactly.
باشه، حالا میشه شکلش رو تعریف کنی برای شنونده‌های رادیویی؟ خیلی ساده است البته. ولی دهه 70.
Designed in the 60s. It was designed, I think, by a man who was wearing a blindfold. Or his dog. It's just, if someone said, what does a car look like, you'd pretty much draw that, wouldn't you? It's got a bit at the front where the engine goes, a bit in the middle, it's a bit fatter, where people sit, and then a bit at the back where their suitcases go, and then it has 4 round things underneath, and they're the wheels. And that's it. So road testing that wouldn't take very long.
No.
I'd love to go out there because they're still used, aren't they, as taxis?
They're
and
still
things?
used as taxis and cars. Yes, they've been around for.
تا حالا باهاش رانندگی کردی؟
I learned how to drive in one of these. Yes. And I thought it was.
همچین فایده‌ای هم داره.
It does. Well, interestingly, it's contemporary, the Ford Cortina.
شبیه فورد کورتینا.
It does look like a Ford Cortina. I learned to drive in a Ford Cortina, which was, you know, the Ford's equivalent to that.
Yes.
And it didn't put me off cars. It's
No,
amazing.
I thought it was wonderful, but then I said, why? I said to my brother, why people complain about this? He said, well, wait till you learn how to drive, and you drive a proper car, then you will know why. Yeah, there's nothing.
Is Paycan still going? It's
still going, but they don't make them anymore. No.
They don't make these, but now they make.
No. They make Samand and a couple of other cars, which are basically Peugeot and other companies. You know, they bring them and assemble them.
They're even worse.
حاضری با یکی از اینا از این ور ایران بری به اون ورش؟
I'd love to do that. That's the sort of thing that Top Gear is all about. It's it's about cars, but it's not what the car's like. It's about what you can do with a car. It's about surprising people. Our last Christmas special, which was shown in February, which isn't Christmas anywhere, we took 3 elderly British estate cars, shooting brakes, station wagons, across Africa looking for the source of the Nile. And it's interesting, a lot of the American fans were saying you were stupid to take those cars. They were plainly not designed to do that. And that's exactly what we were doing.
از اینجا بردین آفریقا ماشینا رو؟ واقعا از بریتانیا؟
That's exactly what we were doing. It's trying to demonstrate that when you think a car is finished and it's useless and it wasn't designed to do this, you'd be amazed what it could do. I mean, I bet we could stagger the world with what that could do. This sort of terrain is but nothing for it. And that's the third element of Top Gear with the specials, anyhow, is you show people parts of the world that they wouldn't ordinarily see. We've been to Botswana, Bolivia, Chile, the south of America. Don't recommend that.
Antarctica.
The Arctic, right up to the North Pole. And then very few people have been through Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania. And the river we found, there is a half valid argument for it to be the source of the Nile, which nobody had ever labelled before as such. So there's geography, there's cars, there's entertainment, there's 3 fat old men. It's, 2 fat old men and one who pretends to be 34. But, so there's a lot of things in Top Gear, really.
اگه یه ماشین مسابقه می‌خواستی کدوم رو انتخاب می‌کردی؟
Lexus LFA.
تو کدوم رو انتخاب می‌کردی مظفر از ماشین‌های مسابقه؟
Racing car. I don't know really. Tell me which one is the best car.
Just say Ferrari.
Ferrari, of course. Yeah, Ferrari. Yes.
می‌بینی اونقدر هر چی جرمی گفته رو دوبله کردی دیگه از خودش نظری نداری.
No, but Ferrari. Yes, I see it all the time in the program. You know. Yeah, Ferrari. I would use that one.
It's pretty good.
Right, I can't.
خیلی خوب متاسفانه اینجا فراری و لکسوس نداریم ولی 2 تا پورشه داریم ایرادی نداره که مخاطبای تختگاز میدونن که هر برنامه یه مسابقه توی پیست هم داره بازم متاسفانه نمیتونیم بریم پیست ولی یه پیست براتون آوردیم اینجا و میخوایم مظفر و جرمی مسابقه بدن اگه ایرادی نداره البته با 2 تا پورشه یکیش زرده یکیش قرمز کی کدومو برمیداره
You choose. Yellow or red?
Usually yellow is my favorite color, so you have.
Help yourself. Red's fine by me.
پس آقایون اگه مشکلی نیست شروع کنیم.
Start your engines. Start tonight.
I'm sharp.
اومدیم به پیستی که پر از هیجانه، پیچ‌های تند و دورهای متعدد. و همه چیز زیر نگاه تیزبین استی. شرکت کننده ها تفاوت زیادی دارند. جرمی کلارکسون 53 ساله، مدتی که کلارکسون بوده 53 سال. مظفر شافعی 56 ساله، مدتی که کلارکسون بوده 5 سال. باید دید کدوم کلارکسون سرعت و مهارت بیشتری داره. کلارکسون انگلیسی یا ایرانی. درست پیش از شروع مسابقه جرمی متوجه یه خطر احتمالی میشه.
You see there's a crossover here. So there'll be an accident. So look, you go first.
Okay.
Oh no, I've gone wrong.
Mine doesn't have.
It's a Porsche. Yeah, it's a rotten bit of luck. There you go. I've crashed. You've broken down. Welcome to the world of Top Gear. Ambitious, but rubbish. Hold on a minute. I'm pretending I can see this and I don't need glasses. Try it now.
جرمی بلافاصله مکانیک میشه.
Yeah, hang on. Right, just talk among yourselves. Because I don't need these, I just wear them for show. I don't know, my eyes work. There you go, that's the problem.
This is the part where you really find out about Jeremy's part.
Right, try now.
Oh,
There you
yeah,
go.
sorry.
Right, mended, big speed. Look at that generosity of spirit, and I've done it. I mean, I'm finished on the track, but I'm there. I've passed the finishing line and parked neatly.
جرمی به زحمت حالا میخواد نشون بده که این همه سال پشت فرمون ماشین بی‌فایده نبوده.
You're also off the track, but
Yeah,
Right, I'm going to see if I can do one lap without actually crashing. Ready? Yes. Look at this.
Okay. Me do one lap without crashing.
حالا همه نگاه ها به مظفر.
Oh.
Now you see, I've told how many times have you translated me saying speed and power is what's
my
needed,
God.
but not that much speed and power. Well, there we
Okay,
are.
well then you're the winner. So.
جرمی میتونی اسمتو پیدا کنی؟
put your name.
Yes.
Yes, of course I can.
You know your name in.
Yes. Well, I've got a
Don't give
50-50
me
chance. I believe it's this.
Is it correct?
Is this Jeremy Clarkson?
Yes, it is.
So I therefore go above Rowan Atkinson.
Okay.
On a slightly shorter track, I admit. And you go,
I go.
this is a nice place to be, between Tom Cruise but above
Wow.
Cameron Diaz. Bob Geldof.
My dream has come true.
Exactly. So you're there above Cameron Diaz. Sitting on top of Cameron Diaz.
پس تو اینجایی نشستی بالای کامران دیاز.
And on that bombshell, it's time to end. Thank you for watching. Good night.
و با این در اینجا به پایان برنامه امشب میرسیم. شب بخیر.
Good.